from Michigan. So it didn't work out, sorry, but I am here to teach you today. Alright, so we're going to start in a seated position, whatever is most comfortable for you. It might be legs crossed, it might be legs straight, whatever feels good. And we're trying to make as much room in this torso as we can. So bringing the head up towards the sky, broadening the shoulders and the rib cage, and pushing the hips down towards the floor. And I want you to notice, you might look at the mirrors or whatever in the classroom, and you might notice you're kind of rounding here. So if you can, you sit on something so then the pelvis won't do this shift backwards, but you can keep it level like a bowl of soup that you don't want to spill. So we'll close our eyes, just relaxing, noticing the body today. There will not be any music during practice today. I'm still working on that part of class, but we might have some birds or children playing in the background, or obviously you can hear the AC running. So just letting your mind relax or focus on something positive. And as you exhale, starting to squeeze the pelvic floor, the belly. Still trying to make lots of room in the torso. Being really intentional with your posture today. We're going to take the hands together and we're just making circles here. And then we'll place them underneath the chin, push the chin down into the hands, hands up against the chin. As you inhale, reach the elbows up. As you exhale, pull the elbows together. Going at your own pace, might be faster, slower than mine. With each inhale, you make a little more space in that rib cage. Take one more. And then pressing the hands away from the ears. Pushing those fingers as far away as you can. Relax the shoulders. Next inhale, lift the hands as far up into the sky as you can. Trying to get those pinkies behind you and thumbs right up to the sky. Deep inhale. On your exhale, release the arms. They'll come behind you, the other pinky on the bottom. Inhale, open up the chest and the neck, looking up. And exhale, release. Bringing the hands in front of you, making the circles in the opposite direction. I think that might be the opposite, or maybe not. And then bringing the hands underneath the chin, chin on top of the hands, so you're pressing down, and then as you inhale, you're really making space. Really deep, deep breath. Let your neighbor's breath encourage you, inspire you to deep breathe. I'll do one more. Push the palms away, keeping the shoulders down, and then on your next inhale, reach for the stars. Keeping those shoulders down as much as you can, the crown of the head reaching, belly's tight. Deep inhale. Exhale, release. Hands behind you, other pinky on the bottom. Inhale, open, look up towards the sky. And then exhale down. We're gonna get the knees up here, the feet in front of us. And we're just starting with the neck. We're going into our turtle. So we're pushing out the chin and then tucking the chin back. Maybe if you'd rather just hold this, you might just tuck the chin back and hold it there, trying to make your posture better. And then we're going to get into the mid-back, so we're rounding and then coming up. You might hold below the thighs here to really round and let this traction pull me. Chin tucks, and then when I come forward, I push the chest, maybe looking up toward the sky. So making lots of room between the vertebrae. We're just warming up the spine here. And getting the breath to yoke with the movement. You might stay there if you want something different. Put your hands maybe in between the toes, or just grab the feet or the tops of the toes, and you can move them around either side to side, back and forth. Maybe just kind of go crazy here, just getting flexibility in those joints. And trying to get a little extra stretch here by pushing the toes down and letting the head drop, maybe even in between the legs, and you're just allowing the connection here to create a little traction. We're going to release. We're going to bring the left leg down to the floor, spread the toes if you can, and push the bottom of the leg into the floor. We're going to take that left arm up to the sky, reach as tall as you can, deep inhale. Exhale, maybe you get the elbow on the outside of the knee, maybe it's just the hand to the knee, and we're doing our twist. Belly's pulled in, looking as far as you can behind you. One more deep breath. Exhale. Look forward. We're going into bow and arrow. You might grab the outside of the thigh. You might grab the pinky toe. Bringing that knee up. So you might be here. You might just be leaning over. And we're just trying to open up a little bit more of the glute and work the upper back. So I'm still pressing this leg down into the floor if you can. Deep inhale here. Exhale, cradle the baby, grabbing the ankle, maybe pushing the knee out or holding the knee. If you like to, rock side to side. If you need more, you can lie that ankle down and come over the leg. Maybe giving you more stretch in the hip, but mostly probably in the back of that left leg. One more deep breath. And then we'll release, taking up that left leg as close to the body as you can. Taking that right arm into the sky. And then either the hand or the elbow goes on the outside of the knee, lifting the chest, rotating and looking behind you, pushing that straight leg into the floor and spreading the toes if you can. Try to stay active. One more deep breath. And then release, come forward. Maybe you just grab the pinky side of the toe and just relax here. Maybe grab the thigh. And we're just going into that bow and arrow. Mostly working the upper back here, but if this doesn't work out for you, that's okay. Just stretch however feels good for you at this moment. You might spread the toes. You might give yourself a little massage on the foot. I don't care what you do. Remember, this is your practice, your time. And we'll come into cradle the baby. Just grabbing the outside of the knee and the ankle. Maybe you go back and forth if that feels good for you, or maybe you just hold it. You might even grab underneath the calf. If you want more, you can place that foot down and reach the chest over the leg. Still pushing and spreading the toes. I know it doesn't look like I'm spreading, but I'm trying to spread. I'm really working on that. There they go a little bit. One more deep breath. then release. We're gonna come up to standing however you like to. I know it doesn't look that pretty coming up, but that's okay. We'll take the hands all the way up to the sky. You can cross the hands and then put the palms together, so you're really almost cutting off your hearing, and reaching maybe a slight back bend here. And then bringing it in front of you, kind of tucking here. So I'm bending the knees and I'm pulling in the belly and just getting a little bit of a stretch through the upper back by pushing the palms together. Then take a deep inhale and reach. Exhale the hands just down by your side, and we're going to do just a couple shoulder shrugs here. We squeeze everything together, even the face, and then we relax it. Even think about pelvic floor pulling up and in. Glutes squeezing together. One more time. All right, we're going to take the left leg forward, and both feet are going to be facing straight. There's about 1.5 feet between my feet. I am hinging at the hips, so I want to make a crease here as I reach forward with the crown of my head. Hands can come to the back, or if you need the support, the thigh, go there. We're just getting the hamstring to stretch here. In pyramid pose, maybe you can draw back the toes or spread them. And then place one toe back down on the ground at a time. We're going to start to bend this front knee a little bit. And we're going to get slowly a stretch here. So we're just bending this back knee, but keeping the heel down on the floor. So you're still kind of pushing that right heel into the floor. And then straighten that leg and just allow yourself to fall over this front leg. Maybe hands are on the thighs and you can relax one arm and swing it around, or maybe both arms just fall and you look like a rag doll over that front leg. Just taking a few deep breaths. Maybe the head needs to sway back and forth so you don't hold any tension in the neck. And then pushing through both heels, we roll ourselves up. We're in a warrior one position. So I'm really straightening and pushing through that back heel. Arms are going to come up, and we're going to widen the cactus. If you'd rather go into the traditional palms together, that's fine too. So we're just opening up that chest, pushing the hips forward so you feel a nice stretch here. And then we're going to come all the way up until eagle. So we're bringing that right leg up, crossing it over, maybe tucking the toes. Notice the hip. My hip always drops and I push up to the side. So try to keep them even. Then if you can take right hand up, left hand up, right hand underneath, and maybe get them together. If you're more flexible, you might be able to interlock the fingers and do a little temple there. And you're pushing out of the shoulders, still trying to make lots of room in that torso, trying to look through your little peephole. Deep inhale here. And then release the arms. We're going to stay balancing if you can. Bring that foot up, flex and point the foot just a couple times, and then make circles of the ankles. You can always do this on the ground if you need to as well. Relax the direction. Trying to stay as tall as you can. I need all the length I can get nowadays. And then we'll drop this foot all the way back so we're in a crescent lunge. So that means a high lunge around the toes of that back foot. Once you're here, you might grab the elbows, a little bit harder on the balance, or you might bring in the hands in between the shoulder blades. And we're just leaning, if that feels comfortable for you, and we're just trying to open this hip flexor. Or you might lean backwards and get a little A little more hip flexor, but also get the belly to stretch too. One more deep breath. And there's an optional balance coming into standing. You can either kind of flip the arms down, and you might go all the way into stick, bringing that leg up and then dropping, or you might just stand all the way into balance and find your way. Now we get to do the other side. Yay. Squeezing, and then let go. It's a good one to get the lymph flowing. One more time. All right, this time, taking that left leg back. Both feet are facing forward. Hips are towards the front of the room, and you're going into that pyramid. Reach with the crown of the head forward. Think about if your chin were to, where it would touch down is beyond your toes. You're kind of reaching the chin a little further. So I don't want you to just let your head fall. That will come next, but take a little break. We can bend this front knee. We're going to get a little soleus stretch here. So you're keeping that left heel down and you're bending through the knee. So it's very slight bend. I mean, I cannot bend more than that, and neither can you. Maybe you can, but so you should just feel a little different stretch through the calf here. And then we can straighten that leg back out, really pushing through the heel, and drop the upper body. It might just be hand on the thigh, and then you stir the soup for your shoulders, or you might just fall over like a rag doll. Maybe hands are on the floor. You just kind of relax the upper body. Notice the breath moving down your shoulders into your fingertips into the floor. Now pushing both heels into the floor. Contract this back quadricep and come all the way up into your warrior one. Arms are gonna reach. We're gonna come into cactus. So pulling those elbows back. Squeezing the abdominals here. We're gonna transition. Bringing the hands behind the head, maybe the palms in the middle of the back, and just a little bit of a bend here. Keeping everything nice and tight. Coming all the way back up. Coming into your eagle. So bringing that leg up, if you can cross it. Bringing that right arm forward, left arm's going underneath and through. Maybe connecting. Remember, you can interlock fingers, pressing the four fingers up. Pushing shoulder blades apart, squeezing everything together. One more deep breath. And then disconnect, coming in to this balance, maybe flexing and pointing the foot just a couple times. Remember, you can always have the heel down if you need to for balance. And then we got circles, the ankle. Maybe circle the wrist at the same time, or play the piano. Go the opposite direction. We're gonna set back into our crescent lunge. We're taking that foot all the way back so we're on the ball of the foot. Kind of squeezing everything together. Arms can come up. You might lean over to one side, or you might do a slight back bend here. A little deeper. And lastly, the throwing yourself forward, coming up to standing. You might go to forward fold, or maybe go into stick. Go into forward fold, and then slowly roll up. We'll take the elbows back, kind of squeezing, and then tucking everything in. Squeeze back, chicken wings, and tuck everything in. Sorry for a screaming child, didn't see that one coming. Not my child. Oh, the neighborhood kids. And if you didn't hear it, sorry to bring it up. Bring the hands all the way overhead. Deep inhale here. Exhale, release. We're just gonna scoop, so we're reaching our hands back. And if you like movement, stay with the movement and scoop and come all the way up, maybe even up on your tippy toes here. If you'd rather just be in a chair position, holding this position, that's fine too. Everyone's gonna be a little different. One last time, one last breath. All right, here we go, we're going through it again. So we're gonna start. Maybe you get a little bit longer length or distance between the feet. You're really reaching for the crown of the head. And I like to slightly look up here just because we get to strengthen this part of the neck. A lot of times it's not as strong, it's actually lengthened because a lot of times we have this forward head or drop down head just from the things that we do every day. So I'm just trying to strengthen this. If this does give you any neck issues, you don't have to look up. And then we're gonna slightly bend the front knee. We get that soleus stretch. We bend this back knee. When you have more length between the feet, it's way harder to bend that back knee, keeping that heel down. And then straighten that leg and drop over. Just relaxing the whole body. Maybe your hands on your thigh and you stir the suit. Just find what works well for you. Taking one more deep breath. Pushing through the heels, strengthening the inner thighs, the glutes coming all the way up. Coming into those cactus arms. Really pushing the chest forward and squeezing the belly so you don't get this just, really crazy arch back. You want to stay nice and tall the whole time. So gravity, when it's hitting you, you're kind of piercing gravity rather than letting it give you more strain on your back. You can bring the hands behind, maybe lift the elbows, maybe do a little bit of side to side or just staying there, however feels good for you. Come all the way into our balance pose, so we lift up. Keep that leg around, bringing the arms towards each other. One more deep breath. Release the hands by your side. Maybe you spread the fingers and make this. We flex the foot just a couple times. Then we make circles. Maybe circle the wrists as well. Notice the shoulders not tense, but they're relaxed. Opposite direction, any direction you want to. Taking that leg, pushing it back, coming into that crescent lunge. Arms are going to come all the way up. Just like we did in the beginning move, we're going to cross the arms, put the palms together and reach. Maybe do a slight back bend, or you might lean over to the side. We're just getting a little deeper. One more deep breath. Exhale, either coming forward and then into a forward fold like this, or kicking up into that stick, into your forward fold. Slowly rolling up, taking the shoulders all the way to the ears, making that face, and then releasing. Do that just a couple more times. Pucker the lips. Now taking another leg back, And we're starting maybe a little further apart, where you're dropping the upper body over the lower body, pushing the hips towards the back of the room, and the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Or maybe you're following me online and you're outside, so whatever that means to you. Take in one more deep breath. We start to bend this front knee, so then we can just work on that soleus, squeeze the quadriceps, and just bend that back knee, keeping the heel on the ground. You might not feel much of a difference or a stretch. Some of you will, some of you won't. Soleus, also known as your second heart, underneath the calf. It's just good to stretch it out because we need it to stay supple so it can help pump fluids back up to the heart. One more deep breath. And then release, and either releasing completely over that leg, or maybe just releasing one leg, one arm, whatever feels well for you. Spreading those toes, pushing through the heels, tightening the legs as you bring yourself up into that warrior one. Going into the cactus arms. And then bringing the hands behind or maybe in between the shoulder blades. You might look back or do a little side stretch, whatever feels good for you. Deep inhale. Then coming all the way into eagle, so whatever leg is going to be on the ground, that's the arm that comes up. The other leg swings across, maybe the toes can tuck all the way underneath. And then you tuck the other arm underneath. So ideally you're going to have this tall spine. You might even sink a little bit. Really pushing those forearms towards each other. One more deep breath. Releasing. Bringing the hands down, bringing the leg in front, pointing and flexing the foot, maybe making fists and spreading the fingers. And then we'll circle the ankle, maybe circling the wrists as well, but staying relaxed. You can always keep the heel down on the floor. We'll go the opposite direction. And then we're going to push this leg all the way back so we're balancing on the toes. In that lunge position, you should be able to lift the front toes. Kind of squeeze the glutes, lift. Arms are going to go overhead. You might even be able to cross them, get the palms together. If you might do a little back bend here if it feels well with you, or a little side bend. Just taking a few deep breaths. Notice the shoulders relax. Might even bend your elbows here like a genie. One more deep breath. And then you can either bring the hands to the thigh or the floor, come into either your forward fold, or maybe you pick up the stick just for fun, then go into your forward fold, find what works well for you. Once we're here, we can bend the knees, and we're just allowing the belly just to fall right on the thighs or the knees. You might even grab underneath. You might even be able to grab the elbows here and just kind of round yourself. If this is uncomfortable, you can't breathe very well, maybe you're up here, and that's fine. I just like to give different options, you know. Take one more deep breath. And either staying here basically and going into a chair, maybe with the arms lifted, or maybe you're standing more straight, or maybe some of you are going into a prayer squat. If your knees, if you had knee surgery, it's probably not going to be where you go, and if this doesn't feel good, don't do it. Some of you like the challenge of the balance and being low, some of you don't. So being in a chair or standing up and just taking a few breaths in mountain, go with what feels well with you. And then if we can make our way all the way to our bellies, yes, the belly. So if you have blankets and stuff, get it out. And you can either jump or step back and slowly lower yourself down as much as you can. once you get down here, I want you to focus on your hips. Maybe you wiggle them back and forth. Bring the forearms down. Taking those shoulders kind of back so you're not shrugged and they're not rolling forward if you can help it. Pulling them back and you're just looking either straight or maybe you look up a little bit. And then release down. This time we're not gonna have any pressure on the hands. We're strengthening the upper back. We're gonna bring the elbows into the waist, kind of like a W or saying, what? Type of move. That's what Arland always does, my baby. And we're lifting up. So squeezing that mid back. Notice the glutes, they shouldn't hold on too much. Taking one more deep breath. Then we're releasing down. If you can here, spread the arms into a T and you're just looking forward. If you feel more comfortable kind of tucking the chin, do that. You're just taking a few breaths and you're trying to reach your fingers a little further. Kind of walking those fingertips a little further. Then we're gonna bring the hands back by the side so palms are facing down. And we're going one more time into that lift. If this doesn't feel good, you can always have the support. Make sure your neck is happy wherever you are. So you might even lift way up there. You wanna get the back of the arm so you're pushing the back of the hands up. One more deep breath. And then release. Bring the hands into your side. Tuck the tail, tuck the toes, and maybe you go into a push-up right into plank, or you might just go onto your knees. And we're gonna do a couple yogi push-ups. If that's not happening, you might go into your child's pose and take a few breaths there, or you might just bring your, do kind of the top half and bring your shoulder blades together. And then apart, shoulder blades together and apart. Notice my elbows weren't bending. If you want to do the full thing, do kind of it's called chaturanga. So elbows drop by your spine, side, and then you would come up and then down and push all the way up. We got 2 more breaths, so pick what's right for you. I'm just gonna do the shoulders in between her. And then we're either pressing into puppy dog, so widen the knees, a little bit shy of the mat, and then keep your hips above your knees and bring your arms forward for puppy dog, or if you'd rather just go right into your downward facing dog, that's fine too. Just notice when you're doing downward facing dog that your shoulders don't crowd your neck and your ears. And we're taking 3 more breaths here. Trying to push out of those fingertips and out of the shoulders, so towards the pinkies. Walking the hands back, bringing the toes together, going into a child's pose. So if you're in downward facing dog, come down with us, so then we can do a little bit of lateral flexion by walking the hands over to the right, just stretching the left. And then obviously going the opposite way. So we're making lots of room from pinky to hip. This feels good after all of our driving. Oh. Bring it into the center. Walk the hands back. And we're gonna come all the way into standing. Oh, really? Yes. We're gonna come all the way into standing however you like to get there. So we're gonna do what's called the lymph pump. another Qigong move, trying to add more of this into the stretch and flow class, the flow and stretch class. Okay, so palms are open and wide, and you're kind of letting your body just lean back, and then you squeeze everything together. You might even get down where you can put your elbows in between your knees. You squeeze everything together. We just got a few of these. So the lymph system doesn't have a pump, so our muscles are the pump. So this allows that fluid to pump around the body because you're relaxing and then you're squeezing. One last time. And then release. We're going to bring the right foot down, left foot's going to come up, and we're push the heel down and bring it up. One more time, dip the heel down, bring it up. And then if you can, you're turning the upper body towards that leg. Maybe you're even reaching that arm back behind you, saying stop. You can always keep the toe down as well. But you're flexing those fingers so you get a nice stretch in the forearm. Release. We're going to bring this arm all the way up. Deep inhale. Palms are facing to the right, and we reach. And if you'd like to, you can bring up that right arm if you don't need the support, and you can grab onto the wrist and pull, only if that feels well with you. Ooh. Bring it back up. Relax the upper body. You're just doing the lower body, so heel up, and then we tap the floor. A little bit of balance, a little dynamic balance because we're moving. Then we keep it up, 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 up. If you can, you turn here. Push that back hand behind you. Palm is facing back. So flexing those fingers if you can. Remember, you can always put the toe down if you need extra balance. Then releasing, bringing that arm overhead. Doing that lateral flexion. Remember, you're pushing down with both the feet. Still, the upper body is lifting. And if you need more, want more, you can grab it with the left hand, that wrist, and get a little traction there. If that's not enough support for the back, always support your back if you need to. Deep breath, coming all the way up. Now you get to go down on the floor. Maybe you go prayer squat all the way down to the floor. Maybe it's a different way that you get down there. Once we're down here, we can bend one leg, keep the other leg straight. Flex the foot. You can see how dirty my feet are. Great. And we'll just take a few breaths here. And we'll let the head drop, and as we do that, you might do a little massage here. I like to strum that muscle, so going, back and forth, because the muscle goes this way, the striations do. So that might feel good, you might not do that, and that's fine too. And we're pricking the head up. We can take this right arm, bring it behind you, and just massage the chest. This is a really good one if you have rounded shoulders. This is also going the opposite of the striations, and it's more of a relaxing massage because it's very light, but it just helps that fascia tissue. You don't have to have this tucked, but I like it tucked to get a little bit more sensation that way. And then if we can take the belly button, match it up with the thigh, and just come over that leg. You might grab the back of the thigh, you might grab the calf or shin, or you might be able to grab the toes. You might bring your fingers in between the toes if you like that, like we did in the beginning of class. Or maybe you just massage the foot or move the toes. Maybe you are up here. Remember, do it your own pace. And then we'll come all the way up. And we'll switch sides. So we're bending this leg in, staying as tall as we can. Okay. And then we'll drop the head. You might just stay here and try to really lengthen between the belly button and the sternum. You might strum the muscles here if you get tight, if you get tension headaches, or you know you've been doing something that pulls the head forward and down. Remember, the carotid comes up here, so if you start getting dizzy, maybe you're pressing way too hard. And then relaxing, taking this hand behind and just massaging the chest back and forth. If this isn't comfortable, bringing it behind, that's okay. You don't have to do that. You don't have to massage at all if you don't like it. But I like it because you're hydrating different cells by promoting circulation in that spot, and maybe breaking up some adhesions from that layer of tissue that connects everything together, that connective tissue called myofascial. It's good, even though some of us don't like it. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to do it. Alright, and then we'll move the belly button towards that leg, flexing the leg. Ooh, I was being lazy. And come over that leg. So we're always trying to press the leg down into the floor whenever we're seated. Just so then we get some activation through the quadricep, as well as more stretch in the hamstring. And even a little bit of strength in the hamstring. And slowly roll all the way up. Bring the feet together if you can. Remember, if you're more flexible, you can get those heels closer to your body. If you're not so flexible, they might be far away, and that's okay. We're just trying to open the hips and keep this flexibility for putting on shoes, and just sometimes when we have arthritis, we don't do a lot of this, and it hurts to do it. But we don't want that inflammation just kind of stay. We can kind of, if we move a little bit more, sometimes we can lower the inflammation. And maybe you press forward. But if you get serious cramps or something, do one leg at a time, or you can always bring the feet way forward. And you don't have to fall over. You can have something supportive under here. But I know that a lot of you started like this, and now maybe you're here, and that's a huge improvement. You don't have to be way open, but you do need to be open for even putting on a shoe, unless you can wear shoes that you can just slip on and you don't have to bend your leg, or putting on socks, or cleaning your feet, whatever. So it's a good thing to have, even though it might not be your most favorite stretch. That's why this one's in basically every class that I do. And then we'll come all the way up. We're gonna make our way down onto the floor, however you like to get there. And once we're there, we'll bring one knee into the chest, just stretching the lower back. Left leg can be bent or straight, it's up to you. And if you have any knee issues, you want to grab underneath the thigh and pull. And if you can, drive the elbows down. Keep the chest open. Just feel a nice stretch in the lower back. And then we'll switch sides, bringing the left leg in, relaxing. We'll do this one more time on each side. So using the abdominals to move the legs, bring the right leg up, left leg either straight or bent. Pulling, getting the upper back down towards the floor. And switching sides, pulling in the belly. Then we'll bring both legs up, maybe knees are together, they're apart. You might go into happy baby here, just a ball. Maybe you rock side to side or forward or back, or maybe you make circles with the knees if you're in ball. Whatever feels good. And I'm placing those heels down, and we're reaching the arms above the head. As you inhale, you're tucking your tail and pushing your lower back into the floor, so you're doing a pelvic tilt. You're reaching with the arms, deep inhale. As you exhale, push through the heels, bring the hands up. Then as you inhale, let it fall back down. If you'd rather just stay up there, that's fine. If you want to make it more challenging, you stay up there and you march the legs without rocking too much back and forth. I don't have that one completely down. Last breath. Keeping the hands above your chest. Fingertips are now going to face into each other like you're hugging a teddy bear or a tree. And then when you come down, elbows are out. You come up, you bring it back to that big position, and then last time, hi little bug. I don't like bugs too much. One just landed on me. Sorry. Bringing the hands down by your side, doing what's known as dead bug. So we bring the right knee up, left leg is going to be straight, left arm's going to go up. I'm pushing the left heel down into the floor, reaching with the left arm up toward the sky. Right arm is going to go above the head. Then you switch it. So you bring up the opposite leg, you try to keep the lower back into the floor. And you switch. Really reach in. And switch. Last time. And then bring in the hands out to the sides. Bring the heels together, knees apart if you can. Keep that lower back on the floor. You can always just keep the knees bent and facing up towards the sky. We're gonna squeeze pushing the bottoms of the feet together. Squeeze the pelvic floor, all the openings there, and squeeze the lower abdominals. No, push that lower back into the floor. Arms out to the side are actually pushing down into the floor, but you're keeping the head down as well. And then relax. Deep inhale. Exhale, push, 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 push. Get that pelvic floor squeezing. And inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze. And release. Last time, squeeze. bringing the knees up towards the sky if they're not already there. And maybe just rocking side to side and looking the opposite direction. You can make this a full twist or just a little twist. Tucking the tail, bringing the hands up. We're just doing a few things with the hands like we did when I was back in class. We're just massaging. If you want to here, you can lift up the hips and get a little bit of work there, but we're just massaging the webbing in between the fingers. So this is kind of cool. And if you got any sensitive spots, you might do this more. So you're lying down, just massaging in between, then you're just kind of, it's like you're squeezing toothpaste out of the tube. You just kind of push and squeeze each finger. You might have to kind of inch the fingers along if it's hard to squeeze. Maybe you didn't put lotion on. I forget to do that all the time. And then we'll interlock the fingers and just kind of move like we did in the beginning of class. Move the hands around, but we're squeezing too. Kind of moving, squeezing. And then we'll do the palms, so making circles with my thumb around, or maybe I'm just pinching the palm. You're still in a bridge, or maybe you're just relaxing on the floor. Remember, this is the end of class, so remember to do both hands. Maybe you notice some spots that you haven't noticed before in your hands. Some tightness. Or if you ever injured your hand, you might have some scar tissue. Remember, I had a big sliver in my hand, and on this hand, that's why I have a little scar tissue, but I had to do this every day. It was awful. But my hand works great. Okay. And then we'll just do a little bit of the wrist. So we grab the wrist and just move the hand however you like to. And we do it on the other side, same thing. We grab the wrist, move the hand however we like to. Remember the fingertips, the muscles attach all the way to the forearms. So this is actually massaging the muscles that control the fingers. And we get a little bit of the forearm, just kind of, I like to get my thumb on the radial side, or no, on both sides actually. So the ulna and then the radial. So I'm just grabbing the meat and moving it around. And sometimes you'll notice back here feels more tight than you would think. Alright, and we'll do the other side. So I'm just using my thumb to kind of get everything. Alright. Awesome. Now you can find your most comfortable position going into final relaxation. So if you wanted to do any more poses, feel free to do them. This is your time. Maybe just take the next few minutes to yourself, and then whenever you're ready, you can get back at I am done for the day. Have a great week.